everybody, and welcome to the Active Life, the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. My name is Jeff Harding. I'm your host today. I'm sitting in for Kyle Case, who is actually out of the state attending a board of directors meeting for the National Association of Senior Games.
That's right.
Sitting with me today, or joining me today, is Andy Groft. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Glad to be here.
Good. Always good to have you here on the Active Life.
Thanks.
Today, we're going to talk about a sport that is growing in popularity. Have you ever played we're talking about pickleball. Have you ever played pickleball, Andy?
You know, I thought you were going to say pickleball because I have seen it growing so much just in the little bit of time I've been here. And yes, I have played it, and it's a lot of fun.
I've played it too, and honestly, I did enjoy it. I don't own the equipment. I had to borrow equipment to play it, but I had a lot of fun. So today we're going to learn a little bit about pickleball, and joining us is the director of the Huntsman World Senior Games pickleball competition, Ken Schoonover. Ken, how are you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here, guys.
Great to have you. Great to have you. So let's just get started. Where are you? We want to get to know a little bit about you, Ken. So where are you from, and how did you end up here?
I am originally from Chicago. Midwest winters eventually drew me to a climate that was less winter-like. I had visited St. George a couple of times, fell in love with the area, and moved here about 5 years ago.
So it's a little warmer here in St. George than it is in Chicago?
Quite a bit.
But the wind blows just as much, right?
Lately it has been, yeah.
Yeah.
But you will never hear me complain about the heat because the winters in Chicago got to be unbearable for
Bitter,
me. So
aren't they?
I love being here now.
Yeah.
It does get cold there. I've never been to Chicago, but I have been to Montreal, which is on the St. Lawrence Seaway, so I do understand what those cold winters are all about.
Glad to be away from them.
I bet you are. So when you're not involved with the games, what do you do with yourself? What are your pastimes? How do you entertain yourself?
Well, actually, I'm first and foremost, I'm semi-retired. I retired from a business that I'm able to do some consulting on a part-time basis. So I still do work part-time, but that has the advantage of giving me some income in my later years, but it also really cuts into my recreation time, which is really what St. George offers here. I play pickleball, I do cycling, hiking, golf, as many of the activities, all of which are available here in the St. George area.
Yeah, it's great.
Are available to me, and I take advantage of that as much as I can.
I was going to say, besides the nice weather here in St. George, if you like hiking, if you like pickleball, if you like golf, it's a perfect place.
If you're
for
an
those
outdoors
types of
person,
things.
it really is.
It's all here.
That's
it's
right.
all here.
So you said that you moved here from Chicago, and then when did you find out about the Huntsman World Senior Games? I guess most of our listeners know that the games have been around since '87. What year did you move here, and then how long did it take before you heard about the Huntsman World Senior Games, and if you could talk about that?
Well, I moved here permanently in 2009, I guess it was. Yeah, I've been here 5 years. I had never heard of the Huntsman World Senior Games prior to coming here. It didn't take long once I got here, the first October that I was here. I learned about the games. I had started to play pickleball at that point.
Had you heard of pickleball before, or was it new for you as well?
Never heard of pickleball before. Probably like most people who don't know the sport. When I heard pickleball, I go, what is this? What kind of sport can this be with this crazy name?
Exactly. It's almost like it's a joke.
Yeah. When
you first hear it, you think, oh, you're just pulling my leg.
Yeah. This is funny. I think I'll check it out just because I'm curious about the name.
Right.
But neither the games nor pickleball had I ever heard of till I moved here.
So you've been involved with the games then for going on 5 years?
Well, I've been aware of the games for 5 years. I've been involved with them directly for the last 3 years.
And pickleball all 3 of those years?
Yes.
Because I don't know if you remember this, Ken, but you're the guy that taught me how to play pickleball.
Actually, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
So Kyle Case, our CEO, he wants us to have a feel for what the different sports are. So maybe 2 or 3 times a year he'll pick out 2 or 3 of our 28 sports. And 3 years ago when I first came on, he said, let's learn about pickleball. I had that same reaction, and when I got there, you were already pretty good at it and taught me how to play it.
Ken, I have to ask: have your injuries healed from teaching Andy how to play?
I'm almost fully recovered from that.
I'm glad to hear that. That makes my heart feel good.
I'm not the easiest student. I always have questions.
Of course, I'm pulling everybody's leg because Andy is a pretty good athlete. So tell us, I'm sure we've piqued some curiosity. Tell us about pickleball. What is it? How's it played? Just spill your guts.
Well, pickleball. It's nothing like the name suggests. It's got nothing to do with pickles. It is a cross between several different sports. I liken it most to playing ping pong on a downsized tennis court. It is a court sport. It's played on a court with a net. And if you can envision standing on top of a large ping pong table playing ping pong, it's similar to that. It's similar to tennis in that it is a court with a net with quadrants on the court similar to tennis, and many of the rules are similar to tennis. It's similar to badminton in that it started out being played on a badminton-sized court. So it's got these elements of several different sports, which I think is one of the things that makes it attractive to a lot of different types of people. It's a sport that's easy to play. It's easy to learn. Doesn't cost a lot to participate in. And it's attractive to a wide variety of different ages and skills.
Jeff, just to comment on one thing he said, I think all of those reasons, it's not that expensive to get started with it and that type of thing, are important. But for me, the thing that you said that was really true was it was fairly easy. I mean, I know that if I want to be a very competitive pickleball player, it takes several years to be as good as some of these guys are. But for me, I was able to pick it up and start playing and volleying. And actually, it was easier for me to learn to play pickleball, beginning pickleball, than it was tennis. I didn't have as much court to cover. The ball wasn't moving quite as quickly.
The fundamentals are a lot easier to grasp.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, and because it's a slower game than tennis. The ball is a plastic, looks like a wiffle ball, but it's more substantial than a wiffle ball. It's a little bit faster than the wiffle ball we grew up playing baseball with initially. So it's a slower game, and therefore you don't have to be a super athlete to be able to play well enough to have a lot of fun. And for that reason, I think pickleball enables those who are very good and competitive to play hard, fast, competitive games, but it's also easy enough to play so that those who are not necessarily as interested in the competition can play, can socialize with other players, have fun, and be good enough at it to just have a ball playing it.
Sure.
Now, my impression of pickleball is that somebody that's a thinking man that can strategize can neutralize, using the stratagem, somebody that's maybe a little bit better athlete than they are. Would that be
That's absolutely true. In fact, those of us seniors, I'm 62 years old. I'm definitely a senior, who play with some of the younger fellows like Andy, and the younger players who are just a lot faster and more athletic. So far, a lot of us can outsmart them by playing strategy, by knowing where to place the ball, what kind of a shot to make. And so we can be competitive with even some of the younger players that are now.
Jeff, I have a firsthand experience of that. After Ken taught us how to play, he and some of the people over there at Sun River were putting on a pickleball tournament. They invited some of us to be involved, and Kyle said he'd be my partner, and so we decided to try it out.
Two young bucks, by the way, both two young bucks.
We had about 3 weeks to practice, so we just went out like maybe twice a week, and we'd just play and try to get our fundamentals down. And, I don't know why, but in my heart, I just thought, it's the competitive side of me, but in my heart, I thought, we're going to go win. We're pretty fast.
We're playing these old
strong
guys. We're going to beat them, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a double elimination tournament, and we beat our first the other group opponents, yeah.
Right.
We beat them and advanced to the next level, and then the next people were actually even a little bit older than us, and we got whomped. I mean, they took us out.
Took you to school, did they?
And then we played again, and it was close, but we got beat as well. So we got to play three matches, but we were eliminated. Had a lot of fun doing it, but the older guys really did, as you'd say, kick our butts.
Well, as we age, our athletic skills diminish somewhat, so we have to make up for that by just being and playing smarter.
Yeah.
And some of us can do that.
In case you're just joining us, this is Fox News 1450 AM, and this is the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. We're talking with Ken Schoonover, the Pickleball Director for the Huntsman World Senior Games. So, obviously, Ken, you play for yourself. How long have you played pickleball? You said about 5 years, 4 years?
No, I've only been playing about 4 years.
How often do you play? How often do you go out and find an opportunity to play the game?
I would play every day if I could. More realistically, I play 4 to 6 days a week,
which is that's pretty substantial.
Yeah, it is. I try and fit in other activities as well, but I love pickleball so much that I try and play every day. And there are enough people, especially in the St. George area, that love the game of pickleball. There's always a group of people to play with, so you can play as much and often as you like here.
So, and I've got to ask only because this is a question I asked, and I think that there are probably some listeners wondering as well. Do you have any idea, Ken, how it got the name? I mean, maybe you don't know either, but it seems like this urban myth. Yeah,
it actually, I think, is a myth. I've heard different beliefs that the myth is really not true. The myth is that the gentleman who invented the game, and the game was invented up in Washington State by a state senator or congressman who on a summer weekend was tired of his kids complaining that they're bored and invented the game of pickleball. The story has it that they had a dog that was named Pickles, who loved to chase the ball and would chase and grab the ball whenever the dog could, and was really annoying. So presumably, it was Pickles' ball that he kept on chasing because he thought it was his.
Yeah.
And it led to the name pickleball. And that's the urban legend.
I could see, that seems realistic to me. I could see the kids, coming to visit Grandpa, the next weekend saying, hey, let's play that, the one that Pickles loves, or let's play the pickleball.
Let's play with Pickles' ball.
Exactly,
yeah, exactly. So getting back to just kind of you said you're 62 years old. You'd play pickleball every day if you could. You're not just involved in pickleball. You say you also cycle and hike and do golf and other things like that.
Right,
How have you stayed so active and so injury free?
Well, it's I think it goes to the lifestyle, which is what really attracted me to this area. A healthy lifestyle is really a choice, and the St. George area, with all the activities that are available to folks like me, helps to promote and allows you to participate in a healthy lifestyle. And I think by just being active, you stay healthier. You keep your mind occupied. It's not always easy to stay injury-free.
Right.
There are some mornings after I play 4 hours of pickleball that the day after it's a little bit harder to get out of bed. But it's the staying active, I think, that keeps us healthy, and that's what this area really offers us.
Just maybe a follow-up to that. If there are people listening right now and just thinking, yeah, but that guy must be, in top shape, and I'm 62 as well, but I've my back hurts or whatever. What would you say to somebody if they're kind of a couch potato and you just met them and they gave you some excuse, legitimate or not, they gave you an excuse and said, yeah, I'm too old for sports. I'm too old for the active lifestyle.
I would say that just get up and try it. Once you decide to get up and start moving, even if it's starting with just walking 20 minutes a day, and you continue that activity, if you dedicate yourself to do something like that every day, it gets easier, and the benefits start accruing. It builds up after time. I think I'm typical of seniors of my generation. I'm not a super athlete. I never was a super athlete. I'm okay. But just being able to engage in these activities enables you to stay young, even if only in your mind.
But maybe in your body as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes you feel younger and look younger. And
the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ken, let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about pickleball in St. George. St. George has become something of a pickleball mecca. From what I hear, people like to come here and play. We have a lot of facilities. Why do you think they want to come here and play pickleball?
Oh, there's several reasons. St. George is the mecca of pickleball. Pickleball in the Southwest started in St. George. In fact, a neighbor of mine in Sun River, Don Odell,
right,
is the gentleman who convinced our developer to build 4 pickleball courts at Sun River. That's where pickleball started in the Southwest. And as more and more people got involved in it, like me, the minute I played it, I got hooked on the sport. The sport has grown in this area. The St. George area itself is attractive to visitors. There's so much that this area offers beyond just pickleball. Hiking, fishing, national parks. There's so much to do in St. George that people like to come to the St. George area for a variety of activities. I think finally, people here are friendly and welcoming. The sport of pickleball is first and foremost a social sport. Lots of different people play, so you can meet somebody who you will quickly become friends with, and that's just the nature of the area that attracts people. And
the social is a big part of the competition. It's not just going out and getting on the court and playing, but it's talking to each other in between and having events, going to parties, doing stuff. I mean, it is a social event. It really is.
Yeah, and in fact, the Huntsman World Senior Games is an opportunity annually for people to come back together, see old friends again, play a little pickleball, have a little bit of competition, and that's one of the things that the World Senior Games really brings to the sport and helps make it what it is.
If you're just joining us, this is the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. We're visiting with Ken Schoonover, who's the director of pickleball for the Huntsman World Senior Games, and we're on Fox News AM 1450 here in St. George. I kind of want to talk a little bit about now. In the Huntsman World Senior Games, we have a limited number of pickleball courts that are sufficient to that there's enough courts in one place to house our events. So we've been closed for a long time. Do you know how many people have signed up this year for pickleball?
It's over 580 players.
580 players. I mean, that's phenomenal. And if we had more facilities, if more courts were added other places, we would add more. It's becoming quite a competition. How important is the Huntsman World Senior Games pickleball event to pickleball? Where does it rank as far as other events, national events? How important is pickleball to the Huntsman World Senior Games competition to pickleball?
Well, I would answer that best by one of the reasons that I enjoy helping put on the pickleball event for the Huntsman World Senior Games. We always hear from a number of players that this is the best run tournament that they ever participate in. It's the one that they look forward to throughout the year. The United States of America Pickleball Association holds the largest tournament to date in the country. That's the USAPA Nationals. The Huntsman World Senior Games is the second largest pickleball tournament, not only in America but in the world. And pickleball is growing around the world as well. So the Huntsman World Senior Games pickleball event is the second largest tournament in the country. If we had more courts, I don't know if there's a limit to the number of players that would participate. We filled up this year in 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. We had 580 players sign up. That's phenomenal. That tells me that there are a lot more people waiting and wanting to play for a lot of the reasons that we discussed.
Well, it tells me that speaks well for several things. It speaks well for this area. It speaks well for the directors of the event, and it speaks well for the athletes that want to come here and participate. Just one more quick question, and from right now, and then we'll have more. But I just want to ask: do you have a favorite memory involving Huntsman World Senior Games and pickleball?
Yeah, well, actually, I think I have two.
Well, give us two then.
One, as the first year I was an assistant director for pickleball, there was so much to do to help pull off the games that
Right.
I didn't play. I didn't participate in the competition. As I got better at that, as we got more people involved who are skilled at putting the event on, I did play in the mixed doubles event, and with my neighbor and partner, Bobby Cooper, we took gold in mixed 2 years ago. I'll confess that we were only in the B division. We weren't among the best players in our age group, but winning the gold was really a thrill. It was hard fought. We had tough matches. We had fun matches. And in the end, we were exhausted, but just thrilled that we were able to win gold.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's a great story. What was the other story?
The second is what I just described. As the director, getting the feedback from players and just hearing that they love the tournament, they love coming here, it's the best tournament they participate in, that makes really all the work and effort that's involved in putting on the games worthwhile.
And it makes me feel, I don't know if it's the right word, but proud to be associated with the Huntsman World Senior Games and St. George, Utah, that people would say that. And one other thing I just wanted to mention, a minute ago, Ken, you said that the Huntsman World Senior Games pickleball tournament is the second largest in the country and the second largest in the world, but the USAPA lets people in from all ages. So if you're just saying the 50 and older, we'd be the largest 50 and older pickleball tournament in the world. Would that be right? Or
I think that's correct. The National Senior Games, I think they attracted close to 500 last year. They're approaching becoming the second, but that's actually a very good point. The USAPA Nationals covers all age groups, and the Huntsman World Senior Games, being just seniors, attracting that many players to one individual sport is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, and knowing that there's more out there that would come if we had facilities for them.
We've had people for months calling saying, "Please, can we get in? Please, can we get in?" So.
Right.
And one other thing I was just going to mention, let's just say, Ken, that you mentioned I was in the B division. I guess the A division is the highest one. Is that?
Well, because pickleball is such a large event, the age event in mixed that I played in was 60 to 64. All players between the ages of 60 and 64 are in that event. There are so many players that we have to divide the event into 3 different divisions. Otherwise, it would just be too big of an event to carry off, effectively.
See, that's exciting for me because if I'm driving in my car or at my house or whatever, listening to this show, I'm thinking, wait a second. Now, let's say I'm 62. I don't have to play against 50-year-olds. I'm playing against 60 to 64-year-olds, my same age. And I don't have to play against the best of the best. If I just want to come out and basically be a recreational player, I can jump into the C division or whatever the recreational division is and really have a good time. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I think what it also does is enables more people to compete for a medal and to get the satisfaction of winning a bronze, silver, or possibly gold medal. In a group of players that's a little bit closer to your skill level.
Yeah, so my first year, given the Huntsman World Senior Games a try, I might be able to medal. I mean, there's a chance.
Well, if you took a couple more lessons from me, maybe you'd have been able to do that.
Well, now that I know that you've got the gold,
well, you're going to have to wait a few more years too, Andy.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm a little young. So just my last question probably of the day is this. What would you say is the benefit of being involved in the Huntsman World Senior Games as far as whether it's pickleball or any other sport? If there's people listening and thinking, should I give it a shot?
Well, several things, I guess. The spirit of competition is what the World Senior Games offers to those of us that are of an age that you would think sports is, we're beyond being able to participate in sports. The fact that the games are held enables us to, number one, come together among a group of people who are of the same generation, the same basic age and experience, and enjoy the camaraderie of people of similar backgrounds. The competition is primarily it. The competition and the social gathering is something that makes life worthwhile. It's a fun event. It's gratifying to be able to participate. It's fun to be able to exert yourself in a competitive form and have fun at the same time.
It's something that people look forward to doing all year long, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Getting back with their friends and competing.
You bet.
All right, well, this has been the Active Life. You've been listening to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life on Fox News, 1450 AM. We've had our guest, Ken. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure, guys.
Very informative. Even though I know a little bit about pickleball, I learned some stuff today, so that's been pretty great. And sitting next to me, we've had Mr. Andy Groft.
And it's been fun to be here.
Always fun to visit with Andy and with Ken. Fortunately, in our positions at the games, we have an opportunity to mingle and rub shoulders with some amazing and totally outstanding people. And Ken is definitely in that category of an amazing and outstanding person. The job he does running the event is just totally amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Now, Jeff, just a quick question. Every year, when are the games?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked that, Andy. The games happen every October here in St. George. It's an annual event. Every year in October, we have some 10,000 plus athletes that come in to participate and have a great time in one of 28 sports, including pickleball. Of course, if you're not signed up for pickleball, you're not going to have an opportunity. And if you're interested in signing up for the games, you can go to our website, www.seniorgames.net, all spelled out, no abbreviation, no SR, it's seniorgames.net. And you can see what's available. You're certainly welcome to sign up. And also, if there's something that you would like to say to us on the Active Life, we have an email address that you can send a message to us. It's activelife@seniorgames.net. Please send us an email. Tell us your thoughts. If there's a topic you'd like to have us discuss, we'd like to know that. If you have a comment or question you'd like to ask, we can respond to you. So that's activelife@seniorgames.net.
And registration ends pretty soon, right?
Well, there's one deadline coming up. The end of August ends our early registration, and there's a $20 discount for early registration.
Wait, the end of July.
Excuse me, the end of July.
Yeah.
That's right. And then the end of August or 1st of September, registration closes. So there's only a month and a half left.
So basically 2 weeks for early registration discount.
Right.
And then another 4 weeks after that. And then September 1, it's closed.
That's right. That's right. So it's getting exciting. It's getting close. We're working hard. Our hours are starting to increase. We're putting a lot of energy in to make the event happen. So thank you so much for joining us, Ken, and for Andy. Thank you for listening to the Huntsman World Senior Games Active Life. And remember, stay active. Goodbye, everybody.
Joy to the fishes in the